So recently I added some new fragrances to my fragrance collection, and I just wanted to come in here and talk to you guys about them, let you know how I've been experiencing them, my opinion on these fragrances. A lot of these fragrances I like, and some of them I'm like, I don't know. I did do something a little bit different this time around. I did get a couple of samples, and I'm kind of proud of myself because I'm so anti-sample. I like to have a full bottle of fragrance in my fragrance collection, but recently I've added so many fragrances to my collection, and a lot of them I kind of like don't intend to wear. Some of them I don't like, some of them I've worn once, some of them I just forgot that they're there. So I'm trying to be a little bit more, I don't know, responsible with my spending, and I'm just trying not to be so impulsive. I'm trying to buy fragrances that I really do like. I just really wanted to come in here and talk to you guys about them. So if you want to see these fragrances, just keep watching. The first fragrance that I'm gonna start out with is one from the house of Lalique, and this one is called Amethyst. So I've been seeing this one a lot on YouTube. It seems to me that within the past couple of months, could be a year, a lot of people did add this one to their collection. So I became a little bit curious about it. After reading a couple of reviews, I was like, seems like something that I would like. It was only 27 bucks on Fragrance Net, so I'm like, you know what, let me just try it out. Of course, I was just so excited to try this one, and when it came, I was like I don't know what to think about this one, and I still don't. I've had this one for like a week now, and I've been trying it like consistently, and I'm like, I don't know what to think about this fragrance. I want to spray that again because I kind of want to remind myself of this fragrance, so I'm just gonna spray a little bit here on my arm. Okay, so first of all, I was kind of like taken aback by the opening. The opening is super unique, and I didn't see it coming. It's very berry like, so there's a lot of berries here, and I'm not talking about like red berries. The berries that I'm getting here are like kind of like dark. It makes me think of dark berries like blackberries, blueberries. I believe there's blackcurrant here, so it makes me think of dark berries, and the berries here are like really overripe. Now I have a few fragrances in my collection that kind of feature that overripe fruity type scent. For the most part, I find that overripe fruity scent to be a little bit off-putting. So I wasn't really keen on the opening, but something about it was very interesting, and I kept wanting to smell it. So that's how I felt about the opening. Like it's pleasant, but it's kind of like weird at the same time. Now that opening didn't really linger for too long. That fruity scent kind of like died down within like 5 minutes, I would say. And then it kind of smoothly transitioned to the heart of the fragrance, which things got even a little bit more, I don't know, weird. So in the middle of the fragrance, I started to get like a lot of musk, a lot of florals, a lot of powderiness, a little bit of soapiness. And I'm like, okay, I'm digging this. I like this. But then I started to pick up on something weird, like something off-putting. And I'm like, what is this? Now, if you have this fragrance, I'm gonna ask you kindly like to just forward this part of the video because I'm about to be real brutal about what I'm getting here. So even though I'm getting the beautiful musky florals, the powderiness, that soapiness, it kind of goes a little bit musty to me. It smells a little bit like sweaty, and let me tell you, if you want me to put away a fragrance really fast, let it have a note of sweat in there. And I'm kind of getting a little bit of sweatiness in this one, and you know, I mean, I can't help it. And what's really confusing me is that nobody's really talking about it, so it makes me feel as though I'm going crazy. But yeah, that's basically what the fragrance transitions to. It turns into a musky, powdery, soapy type of scent. The berries are still kind of buried underneath all the musk and the powderiness and the soap. You can still smell it, but it's kind of like far in the background, and what's really dominating is like that muskiness. It's very smooth. I like that. It's very smooth. It's clean. It does smell, I would say it smells a little bit niche like. I'm kind of getting that. Now, if you think this fragrance couldn't get any muskier, trust me, it does. This fragrance gets way more musky, and not only that, becomes sharp, which is kind of weird because usually when fragrances start to dry down, all the sharp notes kind of like fade away a little bit, but this one kind of gets sharp. It gets muskier, it gets powdery, and I do like that, believe me. But that same musty note kind of like follows through and it lingers for the rest of the wear of the fragrance. I like this one, but there is something off-putting here. I would have to be crazy not to mention that. The vibe of this fragrance is very mature. It's very feminine. It's a very womanly scent. It's not immature. Even though it's fruity, it's not fruity in an immature way. And I'm also picking up a retro vibe from this one. It's quite nostalgic. This is a beautiful scent and I really do like it. Every single time I wear it, I do enjoy the way I smell. It's just that there's something in there. You know how that goes. There's just one little note in there. There's something in there, an accord, something that is really bothersome to me. But that doesn't mean I'm gonna give up on this fragrance, because like I said, it is very pretty. I definitely want to see if this fragrance could just grow some more on me. That's my take on this fragrance. This is Amethyst and it's from the house of Lalique. So the next fragrance that I want to share with you guys is from the house of Cavalli, and this one is called Paradiso Azzurro. I kind of messed up with this fragrance. I kept seeing this blue bottle from the house of Roberto Cavalli, and it seems as though a lot of people liked it. So I went on FragranceNet and I saw this one and I thought this was the one that everybody was talking about. But as soon as I smelled this one, I knew something wasn't right, because I know one thing about the reviewers here on YouTube. They don't make a big deal out of fragrances like this one. This is a fresh fragrance, and I know the majority of reviewers here on YouTube aren't into that kind of stuff. So once I smelled this one, I was like, it can't be the one that everybody's talking about. And when I kind of dug a little bit more, I realized that everybody likes Gemma di Paradiso. I guess that's the fragrance that everybody likes. I went looking for Gemma di Paradiso, but apparently it has been discontinued, and now you have to pay at least $100 to get a hold of it, and I'm not gonna do that. So I'm like, you know what? This is what I have, so let's work with it. And you know, if I'm being honest, it's my kind of fragrance anyway. Truthfully, I didn't want to add another floral aquatic fragrance to my collection, because I feel as though I have so many of those in my collection already, and I'm pretty satisfied with all the floral aquatics, marine type scents that I already have. So this one is gonna feel a little redundant, but you know what, I should have been paying attention, and I'm gonna have to deal with it. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's a pleasant scent. What I'm saying is that it's not unique, especially to my collection. And if I had my way, I would have preferred to get something that's unique to my collection. To me, this is definitely a summery type scent. Very clean, very fresh, very heavy on the citruses. Definitely getting that cypress, getting that jasmine. So yeah, it's just like a straight up tropical, citrusy, marine type scent. I could think about a couple of fragrances that I have in my collection that smells like this. I'm thinking about that Lancome fragrance that I have. I can't remember the name of it right now, but I put a picture right here. This smells pretty much like it. You know, just a very simple, straight up citrus, marine, floral type scent. Pretty boring if I'm being honest, but it's very pleasant. So yeah, I mean nothing to get excited about. If I could get my hands on the Gemma di Paradiso, I'm definitely gonna do that. If you guys have Gemma di Paradiso, let me know what you think about it, and let me know if it's worth hunting that one down. I've become so curious about it, especially when I hear people talking about it. It just sounds so pretty. So yeah, but you know, this is such a bummer, and I'm not saying it's not nice. I'm just saying that I have so many of these fragrances in my collection, and this one is just a little bit redundant. So yeah, that's all I have for Paradiso Azzurro by Cavalli. The next fragrance that I recently picked up is from the house of Elizabeth Arden, and this one is called Fifth Avenue NYC Red. So of course, this is a flanker to the original Fifth Avenue fragrance, which I have in my collection, and I really do enjoy that fragrance. It's probably one of my favorite fragrances from the house of Elizabeth Arden, and definitely one of my favorite floral fragrance. I really adore that fragrance. So anything Fifth Avenue is gonna get my attention, and this one sure did. I did buy this one off fragrance night. It was only 10 bucks, so I was like, you know what, let me take a risk, because even if I don't like it, I'm not gonna cry over it. It's, you know, it's only 10 bucks. I wasn't expecting this one to have anything in common with the original Fifth Avenue fragrance. I definitely was not expecting that, because I have some of the other flankers and they don't really share anything in common with the original. So of course I wasn't expecting this one to have anything in common with it, but if it did, I would have been, you know, I would have been happy. But I wasn't disappointed to find that it has nothing in common with the original. This fragrance right here is definitely geared towards the younger crowd. It does smell extremely youthful. So what I get here are, you know, red fruits, like tart red fruits, and I'm getting a little bit of fizziness. I do like that. There's something about this fragrance that comes off a little bit too synthetic for me. Personally, I just can't seem to ignore the syntheticness in fragrances. Like if it's there, it's there. And even though I'm smelling the other notes, I just can't help but smell the synthetics. Now, it does kind of wear off. It doesn't completely leave, unfortunately, but I could still smell it. And unfortunately, I feel as though it makes the fragrance smell a little bit on the inexpensive side. I think if you don't have a lot of experience with fragrances, this may work for you. But if you're like me and you've experienced so many fragrances and you know what a well-composed fragrance smells like, or a quality fragrance smells like, I mean, I don't think you'll be able to tolerate this one. I'm trying to like it because the red fruits and the light florals that we have in here are just so pretty. But you know, I'm getting the synthetics, and I'm trying to see if I smell it from a distance, if I'll be able to pick it up. Like, will people be able to smell that on me? Yeah, I don't know. The verdict is still out on this one, but I'll tell you this much: for the price, the quality is amazing. Like, it is so long lasting. I sprayed this one on my neck like around 8 o'clock at night, and the next morning I got up around 7 o'clock and it was just like there. It was like as if I just sprayed it on. And I was wearing like a headscarf, and I guess some of the fragrance got on my headscarf, and it was like, I think it's still lingering on the headscarf, to be honest. So the quality is good. So if you do like this fragrance, that's gonna be real good news. But yeah, this is basically red fruits. I'm getting a little bit of florals. Oh, it smells good from the nozzle. I'm getting a little bit of light florals. So it's like a fruity floral type scent with a little bit of fizziness and some synthetics. I'm not going to leave that out. That's what this fragrance is all about. This is Fifth Avenue NYC Red. The next fragrance that I want to share with you guys is from the house of Carolina Herrera, and this one is called Chic. I did pick this one up at Burlington and I paid 50 bucks for it, which kind of me off, but we'll get into that in a minute. So I'm just gonna take this one out of the box. Okay, so here's the bottle. Don't get me wrong, this is a nice fragrance. I don't have an issue with this fragrance. I think it smells nice. I think the quality is fine. I just feel as though it's not worth $50. Not my $50. When I go into Burlington, I usually expect to spend no more than, I would say, 30 bucks for a fragrance. So if I'm gonna spend 50 bucks, it needs to be like better. So I'm kind of disappointed that I paid 50 bucks for this, because honestly, you could easily go to Victoria's Secret and find this scent for what, like 14 bucks. So I'm a little disappointed with the fact that this one is a little bit overpriced. So you were warned. So I am a little bit salty about that, but whatever. The notes on Fragrantica seems not to match up with the scent. Like, I'm looking at the notes and it's just not making any sense to me. So apparently this one has red fuchsia. I believe it has tuberose. On Fragrantica, it's categorized as a floral scent, and I'm getting florals, but I'm getting more of a fruity vibe. What I'm getting here for the most part is a bunch of, I don't know, lemons. I'm getting lemons. I'm getting some sort of red fruit, maybe raspberry, and I'm getting some musky florals. Like, that's basically what I'm getting here. It's a very pretty scent, so I'm definitely gonna hold on to it. I could see myself enjoying this one when it gets a little bit warm, because it does have that kind of scent. It's very clean, fresh, citrusy. It kind of sparkles a little bit. The florals are fresh. It's musky. If you see this one for around 30 bucks, okay, fine. But 50 bucks? I mean, it can't be justified. I just don't see it. That's just my opinion here. This is Chic by Carolina Herrera. So the next fragrance that I have here is actually a sample, and this is a sample of LolitaLand, and this one is by Lolita Lempicka. I didn't want to buy a full bottle of this one because it just didn't seem like a safe blind buy to me. And the last thing I want to do is just add another fragrance to my collection that I'm not gonna like. So I did order this sample or fragrance net, and I'm kind of glad that I did order the sample, but a part of me kind of feel as though it wouldn't have been a regret if I did buy a full bottle. I was expecting it to be much worse because the good reviews on this fragrance are very good, but the bad reviews are very bad. So I'm like, I don't know. But I'm kind of like in the middle with this one, and I think I'm kind of more leaning towards the side where I like this one. But this fragrance is definitely not blind buy worthy because I feel as though it's way too unique, it's way too different. I could see some people actually being repulsed by this one. That's how unique it is. At first I felt like it was very off-putting, but the more I wear this one, the more I like it. Now the sample was completely full, and you could see that I've used a bit of it, and that's because I feel as though I like it and I find it a little bit addictive. I did wear this one to bed last night, and when I got up this morning, I was smelling all sweet and warm and unique. I do like this fragrance, but I have to reiterate that it's a very unique scent. A lot of people say that they detect the Bellini note in this one. According to Fragrantica, Bellini has like a peachy alcoholic beverage type scent, and I'm not sure that I'm getting that. I think what I'm getting most of all is the benzoin. It has like a very thick, syrupy, sweet, rich, warm scent. There's also something there. I don't know if it's something smoky. I don't want to say smoky, but there's just something there that's making it so unique. I'm getting something tart. I'm wondering if that's the Bellini, if that's the peachiness that I'm picking up. I'm not really sure, but I like this fragrance. And when this sample is done, I think I may just buy myself a bottle because something tells me I'm gonna miss it. It's not gonna be for everyone though, like I promise you, it's not gonna be for everyone, but I do like this scent. Do you have this scent? Let me know if you have it. Let me know what you think about this fragrance. I do like this one, and I'm kind of sure that I'm gonna get myself a full bottle because I do like it. The next fragrance that I have here is La Petite Robe Noire, and this is the intense version. I did get somewhat of a sample. This is it doesn't even have the size here. I did order this one off Fragrance Net. It came in this little package, which I think is nice. I do like the La Petite Robe Noire line. I do have the Eau de Toilette version, which I absolutely love. So I was like, the intense version sounds even better. They added notes of blueberry and cotton candy. I'm like, come on, sounds so delicious. I did watch Amy Glam talk about this fragrance, and she didn't seem real excited about it. So I was like, you know what, let me just get a sample, and if I like it and I go through the sample, I'll purchase myself a huge bottle. Thank God I didn't purchase the bottle because I don't like this one. What was the point of putting blueberry and cotton candy if you're not really gonna be able to smell them? I mean, I get the blueberry, but it's like buried under like so many other notes. The cotton candy is barely detectable. Like I get some sort of sweetness, but I mean it's not even registering as cotton candy. So this was quite a disappointment. I think the original La Petite Robe Noire fragrance is definitely better, and if you're looking for a gourmand fragrance, if you're looking for that perfect blueberry cotton candy scent, this is definitely not it. This reminds me so much of Sofia by Sofia Vergara. It smells so similar. It kind of took me a while to make the connection, but the more that I wear this one, the more I'm like, okay, so that's kind of like what I'm getting here. So if you like Sofia by Sofia Vergara, you may like this one, but even Sofia to me is a little bit better because at least it's a little bit more smooth, and I think it's better executed. This one is very synthetic, it's very harsh, and even a little bit masculine. I mean, what is the point? Like, I'm just like so glad I didn't get a full bottle of this one because this is just a mess of a fragrance. It kind of smells like when you walk into like a Macy's department store and you smell all those fragrances at the same time. It just smells like a lot of confusion. That's what it smells like. Ugh. No. That's my take on La Petite Robe Noire Intense. So I left the best for last. This one needs its own introduction. It needs a special introduction, okay? This is just a beautiful scent. I'm talking about L'Interdit. I'm not even sure if I'm saying that right. I'm probably saying that really wrong. L'Interdit. Y'all know what fragrance I'm talking about. It's this fragrance right here. I'm gonna pop up a bottle anyway. So yeah, this is the Eau de Toilette and it's by Givenchy. So the other day I went into Ulta because I wanted to smell fragrances. Specifically, I did want to sample Very Good Girl by Carolina Herrera. It wasn't so much that I wanted to sample that fragrance. It's more like I just wanted to spray it on me just to see how I like it, because I've sampled it like so many times. I mean, I'm pretty sure the people in Ulta are probably onto me right now, but I'm trying to figure out how I really feel about the fragrance. I feel like when I spray it, I like it, but once I leave the store, I don't really smell it and I don't remember it. So I'm trying to figure out if I really want to splurge and get that fragrance. But that has been my experience with that fragrance. Oddly enough, while I was in Ulta, the sales associate like came up to me and he was asking me, you know, about fragrances. And I was like, this is weird, because in Ulta, no one really helps you. I mean, that's more Sephora's thing. Like if you go into Sephora, at least 10 people are going to approach you and ask you if you need help. But in Ulta, that doesn't really happen, which I'm cool with. Like in a fragrance store, I don't really feel as though I need any help. To be honest, I prefer you not to bother me. But anyway, so he was just trying to sell me up on this fragrance. And I was like, oh, can you like tell me more about the Very Good Girl? Because that's kind of like what I wanted. So anyway, he was trying to sell me up on this fragrance. But I was like, I tried it like so many times and I really don't care for it. And I literally told him that. I'm like, oh, I've tried it before and I don't care about it. But he insisted on, you know, me testing it on my wrist. So I was like, okay. So he sprayed it on my wrist. And then I started to ask him about the Very Good Girl, which he didn't give a shit about. Like he kept diverting his attention and my attention back to this fragrance. And I'm like, what the hell is going on? If I want the Very Good Girl, why can't I just have that one? He kept insisting. And then I asked him, I'm like, what is the problem with me wanting to try Very Good Girl? I said, I don't have any interest in this one. But he's like, oh, you get a free sample. And I'm like, what the hell? This guy had, like, what's going on? But anyway, I decided that I was going to get out of there because this guy just would not leave me alone. He really was insistent on me getting this fragrance. But before I left, he kind of dropped a sample in one of my shopping bags. And I was like, oh, thank you. So on my way home, I kept smelling this beautiful fragrance. And then I realized that it was this fragrance. And I was like, oh my God. So of course, got home, took a shower, decided that this was going to be my scent of the day. And it has been a love ever since. This is a beautiful fragrance. Like, it's the only fragrance right now in Ulta that is worth my coins. So of course I ordered me a bottle because I really have to own this one. This is for sure a floral fragrance, but what I like about it is that it's not just a straight up floral. Like, it's not boring at all. Like, there's some sort of sweetness to it. I think the dominant note in this one is tuberose. It smells kind of sweet. I would say a little bit candied. I'm getting something sweet there. The sweetness doesn't really stick around for the entirety of the fragrance. It kind of takes a backseat, and then the florals just kind of start to dominate. I get the orange blossom, which comes off very soapy here. And of course, you get the tuberose. There's some muskiness here. It does have a slightly mature edge to it, but it's also very youthful. I think this is just so pretty. It's hard to describe. If you get a chance to try this fragrance, definitely try this out. I had to get myself a big bottle of this one. So gorgeous. For an EDT, the lasting power is out of this world. Honestly, I don't think you need the EDP because this one is gonna last you all day. It's a very strong fragrance, but I just love the way it wears. It's not too strong, it's not too light. It just lingers and floats around the wearer. It's just so pretty. I just find myself admiring the way I smell when I wear this one. It is so pretty, and I can't wait for my bottle to come in the mail. It's just so good. That is it for this haul. I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. And if you're not following me on my new beauty and lifestyle channel, what are you waiting for? I think by now there should be another video on that channel. There's gonna be a link in the description box. So if you want to see me try on some clothes and talk about fashion and all that good stuff, check that channel out. Okay guys, so that's it for me. Bye.